The debutantes of the Regency era. Throughout history, the debutante's journey into high society has been marked by rituals steeped in tradition and prestige. Emerging during the reign of King George III, the social season spanned nearly 2 centuries, where young women of privilege were formally introduced to society through court presentations and lavish balls. Today, despite evolving societal norms, debutante balls have seen a resurgence, fueled by cultural depictions in shows like Downton Abbey and Bridgerton, reimagining these events as platforms for networking and charitable fundraising, while preserving the timeless allure of societal debut. A debutante's success was often measured by how quickly she became engaged, ideally after just 1 season. The tradition of the social season, which spanned nearly 180 years from the reign of George III to Elizabeth II, saw young women from affluent or well-connected families formally introduced to society by curtseying to the monarch. Following this court presentation, debutantes engaged in a flurry of social events, aiming to forge friendships with other elite young women and meet potential, wealthy, well-connected husbands. Although in the 20th century it became common for debutantes to attend multiple seasons and focus on accomplishments and charitable activities before marriage. So who were these debutantes? A debutante, or deb from the French debutante meaning female beginner, was typically a young woman from an aristocratic or wealthy family. She was of an age to be formally presented to society, often between 16 and 18 years old, at a debutante ball and a series of social events. The debutante attire. Debutantes prepared for months prior to their presentation. They often attended finishing schools to learn a foreign language and perfect their dancing, deportment and royal curtsy. A new wardrobe was essential. A debutante needed at least 6 dance dresses, including a white one for Queen Charlotte's ball in May. Some dresses needed to be long and formal for grand London balls, while others could be shorter for country dances. They also required several day dresses in silk or chiffon for events like Ascot and Henley, as well as shoes, gloves, handbags and hats. By the 1950s, many debutantes and their mothers purchased their wardrobes from fashionable London department stores such as Harrods, although a custom-made gown was still common for the presentation at court and the debutante ball. The season's social functions. The season, spanning from March to October, involved almost constant social engagements, including luncheons, teas and various balls, notably the Queen Charlotte's Ball. This event featured a 6-foot-tall cake cut by a royal guest of honour. Event dates were carefully chosen to avoid conflicts, and after the London season ended mid-summer, social activities continued with country house parties and dances, and a Scottish season in the autumn. While some debutantes only participated in select events, those who stayed the entire season experienced a non-stop schedule of social gatherings, offering numerous opportunities to make friends and meet potential husbands. The origins of the first debutante ball. The tradition of presenting aristocratic young women at the English court can be traced back to the reign of Elizabeth I, who selected her ladies-in-waiting from distinguished families. However, the structured social season that became standard until 1958 developed during the reign of King George III. This period saw a shift in the relationship between the royal family and society, partly influenced by the press portrayals of the monarchy. King George III and Queen Charlotte addressed this by enhancing the public image of the royal family through initiatives such as the court circular and charity activities. In 1780, Queen Charlotte hosted the inaugural Queen Charlotte's Ball, which not only marked her birthday, but also raised funds for the Queen Charlotte and Chelsea Hospital, one of Europe's oldest maternity hospitals. King George III and Queen Charlotte played a significant role in shaping the social season, intertwining the debut of young women into elite society and royal charity efforts. A formal presentation at court became the pinnacle of a London season, filled with balls, parties and sporting events, spanning from the Easter parliamentary recess to the start of the grouse shooting season in August. So who was eligible for debutante presentation? During Queen Victoria's reign, the social background of debutantes expanded. James Hogg, 1859 Etiquette Manual, The Habits of Good Society, indicated that, alongside aristocrats, the wives and daughters of clergy, military and naval officers, physicians and barristers were eligible for presentation. Merchant families were generally excluded, though over time many from this class managed to be presented, either by accident or through efforts to make the Queen more accessible. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, wealthy American heiresses sought presentation at the British court, hoping to meet aristocrats in need of financially independent wives. Since only those who had been presented could recommend others, some aristocratic women with titles but limited funds facilitated these introductions for a fee, thereby widening the pool of debutantes. While the range of acceptable debutantes grew, court rituals became more formalised in the 19th century. By the time Queen Victoria ascended the throne in 1837, the term debutante was widely used, and young women were summoned to her drawing rooms at St James's Palace to enter society. The dress code for these events included an elaborate long white court dress and a 10-foot train, a white veil, an ostrich feather headdress, and elbow-length white gloves. Debutantes spent months perfecting their formal curtsies, ensuring they could descend gracefully with their left knee locked behind the right, facing forward without any wobble. In recent years, debutante balls have experienced a resurgence. Popular historical dramas like Downton Abbey and Bridgerton have brought the tradition back into the spotlight, showcasing the debut of wealthy young women in society, often in the presence of royalty. Notably, the Queen Charlotte's Ball was revived in the 21st century by former debutante Jenny Hallam Peel, and today, without the monarch's presence, debutantes curtsy to the birthday cake, and the event serves as a fundraiser for various charities. Debutante balls continue globally, attracting an international elite interested in networking and future career opportunities. Despite their roots in a seemingly outdated tradition, the concept of formally introducing young women to society and marking their transition to adulthood still resonates in the 21st century.